Hello and welcome. I'm Jenny, founder of Gentle Landmark and the host of Gathering Voices. This is your go-to podcast for real, raw stories from women who are out here building businesses, creating change, and making waves in their communities. In this episode, we sit down with Julia, stylist, coach, and founder of Fit, Fat, and All That, to explore how personal style can transform self-confidence and body image. Julia shares her holistic approach to fashion, encouraging sustainability, thrifting, and mindful consumption, while helping people reconnect with creativity and self-expression. Julia also shares what it's like being a creator who stays true to her values, builds community over clicks, and embodies that unapologetic soft body baddie energy. Hi, Julia. How are you?
I'm good. I'm so excited to be here.
Yes, same here. Let me have you go right into introducing yourself.
Okay, yeah. My name is Julia or Juju or Fit Fat and All That. I am an inclusive wardrobe stylist and confidence coach and content creator. And I'm excited to chat with you today.
Yes, give us the rundown of why you started Fit, Fat, and All That.
I've been in content creation for over 10 years, but I didn't start it as like my business and like monetizing it until like 2019. But I created Fit Fat and All That. It started off as a blog, and my aunt actually helped create the name, and it's just so clever because I think we have such a negative connotation with the word fat, and I really just wanted to take that power back because I grew up being called fat and being bullied about my body, and fat is just a descriptor, just like skinny, tall, short, whatever, and I really just wanted to take away the hold that it had over me. And like, I have fat on my body. There's nothing wrong with it. We all need fat to survive. And so I wanted to have a playful name. And my page and my messaging and mission is all about really helping women and folks feel really comfortable and confident in the bodies that they have, and knowing that they can embrace their bodies, whether it's with fashion or just showing up, and really just wanting people to feel good in who they are without feeling this need to fit into society's boxes.
Yes, absolutely. Your profile, you got this soft body baddie. Can you
Yeah.
explain that? Because I personally love that as just an overall term. And I want to know from your point of view where that came from. What does it mean?
Yeah. I'm kind of like a subset of Fit Fat and All That. I have Soft Body Baddie styling and my Soft Body Baddie confidence coaching. And on top of not only being bullied about my body, I also am a very soft, emotional human being. And I think as women, we're constantly told that like our emotions are bad and our feelings shouldn't be felt and we shouldn't express them. And so I really value my softness within my body and with feeling my emotions. And I really wanted to lean into that of just really embracing our bodies as they are. And that softness is beautiful. And as I've leaned more and more into my confidence, I truly love my soft belly and my soft body. It just makes me feel so womanly and sexy. And also just
Yes.
leaning into embracing my softness of my emotions and knowing that it's my superpower to be able to feel so deeply. So I want women to feel like they can be baddies when they encompass both of these things.
Yes. You talked about being bullied. So being a content creator, how does that work on social media specifically? There's so many different types of people on there. So you can get all different types of feedback. How do you navigate that?
It's funny. I grew up being bullied and then I get bullied daily on social media. So it's just the content creation world, unfortunately, when you're an influencer. And I would say the way I navigate it, I think one, I've done lots and lots of therapy and worked through that. Any person that is bullying a stranger on the internet is such a projection of their own insecurities. And that says way more about them than it
Yes.
actually does me. And I think I've taken so much of my power back when I get trolled or when I get bullied, either through blocking or calling these people out. And I'm just like, okay, you're going to try and embarrass me. And like the thing is, strangers saying things to me on the internet, like it doesn't hurt me anymore. I have created a really thick skin and a really great community around me that I know that these things that are being said just aren't true.
I think that goes against the traditional thought of a content creator or influencer in terms of setting those boundaries, but also showing in yourself that you're not afraid to do things differently than what is possibly status quo.
Absolutely. And I truly I want to show women that they're allowed to stand up for themselves and they actually should. And it's okay to be really loud and to call these people out publicly and to tag them and to do all of these things because I think a lot of the time as women, we're like, oh, we don't want to ruffle feathers. We don't want to create more drama. I have no problem doing that.
How does that go with, say, brand partnerships? Do you do that? I know you're very, I want to say organic content creator, but can you share a little bit more about that?
Yeah, a big part of my career has been doing brand partnerships, and I absolutely love that. It's something that over the last 6 years has been really lucrative and amazing. I will say over the last year or so, it's looking less and less. And I think because of our current political landscape, I'm someone that does not shy away from those conversations. I think, at least for me, my perspective of if you have these really large platforms and you've been blessed that a lot of people are listening, that you should use it to create good in the world and to speak out and to talk about these horrific things that are happening. And so, as that might not be really great for a brand to partner with because I am very politically loud about where I stand. I think it also weeds out a lot of brands that I wouldn't want to work with. And also, the community that I've built on Instagram is people that have the same morals and values. And so, it's definitely been interesting in the last year and a half. But I love working with brands that really value the types of things that I talk about, but that means fewer brand partnerships.
And I think that's okay. You seem to have a really engaging audience, but also you're just relatable. And that's one
Mm.
reason why I love you and brought you on here, because you're just a bad bitch. I don't know if
No,
I'm allowed to
thank
say
you.
that, but
No, no, I love it. No, I love a bad bitch. But yeah,
yes.
I think I think the content creation space, at least I think for now, I really value authenticity and just people being honest and true to who they are. And I think we've lost a little bit of that in the
Yes.
influencing space. I feel like while sometimes we love celebrity lifestyles and all of this unattainable lifestyle, I think people have kind of lost the plot where I'm just it just feels a little delusional to what's going on in the world of these constant unboxings and Amazon hauls and overconsumption. And I'm just like, oh my God, can we please just understand the majority of the human beings that are consuming our content aren't living your lifestyle? And that's amazing that you've worked and built your brand to be that. But it just feels a little tone deaf sometimes.
Yeah. Let's dive into that further when it comes to the fashion industry and creativity, which I think is where fashion stems from, and self expression. What are your views, since you did bring up the unboxings and all of that?
I love a good try on haul. I love showing, what I purchased or what I bought. But as someone who really values sustainability and creativity, I try to refrain from just pushing overconsumption and constantly pushing and driving link clicks so I can get more partnerships. I think we have a serious problem when it comes to the influencing space of just constantly pushing links and links and links. And it's a lot of crappy clothing. It's Amazon, it's Shein, it's just a lot of fast fashion. And not to say that I, you know, I understand where a lot of my clients are sometimes because fast fashion is affordable
Yeah.
and a lot of the time it's inclusive. And so I understand that there's a space for it when it serves that. But I think we've also lost our creativity. We just rely on influencers to tell us what is trendy and what is in. And we don't really think about and value our own autonomy as to what we're drawn to. And then my clients come to me and they're like, I don't know what the fuck I like. And I just feel like I have a bunch of things that were trendy that I purchased from influencers, and I don't really know what my personal style is. And so I really value people that are creative with their style and just aren't telling other people this is what you should be wearing to be cool. It feels very high school popularity kind of vibes and also very MLM-y.
Yes. No, I feel that. I was very much that creative who wore black all the time. And then I got into the beige era. And now I've been really diving into essentially what they're quoting, dopamine dressing.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, it makes me feel so good because I feel like there's just so much that goes on in your mind, outside of it, and in the real world. You need to focus on what makes you happy. And self-expression is huge in that aspect, which is what you're saying and everything. And it's like, if you don't know what makes you happy,
Exactly. And I
very
think we're just
questionable.
Yeah, and I think we're relying on like, okay, we see this influencer that's wearing this outfit, and then we buy the outfit, and then we think that we'll have the confidence that this influencer has because we purchased the exact same thing, and then we put it on our bodies, and we're like, I don't I don't feel confident. And it's because you're copying and pasting, hoping that you'll get that sliver of confidence from them instead of actually working on your own inner confidence and the confidence that is built when you start to ask yourself, what do I actually like? And what do I want to wear? And how do I want to express myself and my personality? And I think that's what's getting missed is we want to copy and paste and hope that we get that confidence with that outfit. And that's just not how it works.
Can you explain your more holistic approach to styling with, say, your clients and such? Like, what does that look like? Walk us through kind of those steps if you don't mind.
Yeah. My styling sessions are super fun. So they're 2 hours long. And I have a lot of clients that will come maybe feeling a little bit anxious because it's something they've never done before. I'm certified in breathwork and I like to start my sessions with breathwork if that feels good for
That's
my client.
amazing.
Yeah, yes. Just a great way to like ground into your session. And then I go through a really in-depth questionnaire and I ask really important questions to my clients. And one of the first being, what is your current relationship with your body? Because I think we, again, hope that we can put these clothes on our body and feel confident, but there's so much underneath that. There's so many rules and uh, things about our body that have held us back from showing up authentically. So I ask my clients, like, what are some pain points with your body? What are some parts of your body that you really love to show off? And what are some areas that you struggle with? And how can we unpack that a little bit, maybe push the edge and see maybe we try a shorter crop top and see how that feels. Maybe we show our arms or something like that and do it from a really safe container. And then basically we play dress up. So I like to use the clothes that my clients already have and we create outfits with the items that are already in their closet. And then I look for the gaps that are missing. So a lot of my clients struggle with accessories or like statement pieces or a great blazer or a jacket. And so as we're creating outfits together, I'm writing down these things that I think that they could add within their closet. And a lot of the time we come up with 10 to 20 outfits and most of my clients are like, I didn't even know that I had this many options. And then I do shopping for my clients afterwards and send them a list of things that I think that they could add into their closet. And I write them up a whole style personality. And it's just a fun little write up that they get afterwards. But then I do the shopping for them, which is really nice because a lot of people don't want to do that heavy lift. So it's a really well-rounded experience. I give them homework when it comes to like their body image and styling, things for them to continue to work on afterwards. So it feels like this is a journey that they can continue on with themselves after working with me.
Do you find that you're having multiple meetings after that, or is it kind of like a one and done?
I usually do 2 hour one off, and then I have clients that will see me seasonally. So once you do a 2 hour session with me, I do 1 hour one off session. So maybe we did a 2 hour session in the summer, and now my clients have gotten, their new summer wardrobe or have added some things in, and we'll do 1 hour session after that. I also have clients that have done my 2 hour styling session, and then I do event styling for them, or I help them pack for bachelorette trips or other
Okay.
trips like that. So yeah, we continue working together. And I'm always more than happy to like do shopping and like I've gone thrifting with my clients. That's another thing that I do is like
Yes.
I go thrifting with my clients and help them sustainably add things into their closet, which is really fun. So yeah, I work with my clients in multiple ways after we do like our intensive session.
Yeah, you talked about thrifting and sustainability. I know that's big for you. What got you into that avenue? And then can you share some tips on when you're thrifting, how to go about finding the good things or what will work? How do you go through that experience and finding things that actually make sense for you?
I used to be someone that was a fast fashion girly. It was affordable because I was broke, and it fit my body because a lot of the time these brands are inclusive. And then I would purchase all these things and they would rip, they wouldn't last. And it was
Yes.
becoming really frustrating because I'm investing money, yeah, not a lot of money, and I have always loved thrifting. I love going to antique shops. My dad owns an architectural salvage business. And so I think it's just very much rooted in my blood to be a little secondhand shopper. When I was in Denver, really started to get into thrifting. And also, like existing in a curvier body, thrifting can be really hard because there's not as many options. And so
Absolutely.
I really started to lean into that, and I just found these gems of items. And it's the most compliments I was getting about outfits were things that I thrifted. And it became such a fun activity. I would like smoke a joint, put on my headphones, go thrifting. Like it was, I
Yes.
did it dates with people, I did it with my girlfriends. Like it was just such a fun activity. And I love shopping, but I was like, I don't want to just add more crap into my closet, and I want to shop with intention. And I felt like, okay, if I'm going and when I buy things, I always get rid of things as well. So it's kind of just like I'm swapping things out. But it just became a really fun activity for me. And I was like, wait, this is like, I felt really empowered too because it forced me to lean into my creativity way more than just shopping online. Online, they're telling you what looks good with something else and they're pairing outfits
Yeah.
for you. When you're thrifting, you have to build that creative muscle yourself. And I started to really figure out my fashion by thrifting.
Yes. Yes. So I will
Because you
follow.
have to you have to see a vision of the
You do.
clothing. You have to be like, I have to see this and be like, how does this work in my closet? Because I got this like sweater at literally this like old lady thrift shop. And I think most people see it and be like, well, it kind of looks like a grandma cardigan. And I've gotten so many compliments on it and like the way I
It's all
style
about
it,
how
it's
you style
really
it.
cool.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Yeah,
with you. I do find it hard though, because I'm a plus size girly too, and it's hard to find the right fit when you're shopping. And then I also find that I tend to go overboard and I'm just constantly purchasing. So it's like, how do you
yeah.
learn when to stop, and also which are going to be statement pieces that are staples in your wardrobe?
Absolutely. I've had some friends who are like, "Oh my God, I just thrifted so much and now I feel like I don't know what to do with it and I don't know how it works." And I think for me, when I first started thrifting and it's taken me a while, I would get so excited about finding pieces I like that I was like, well, there's only one. So if I leave it
I
here, then
need
I'm
it. Yeah.
exactly. So it felt like I needed everything that worked for me. And I started to be like, okay, I have to like chill. I have to pause because now I'm just like having all of these items in my closet that don't really work with other things. And when I'm thrifting, one, I'd like to tell people that are starting out to go shopping with intention. You need to first look into your closet and see what am I shopping for? Because I think when we just go thrifting for fun, which is great, I think we need to have the expectation that maybe it's going to be a little bit harder of a search versus like I'm going to find a cool jacket or maybe I need to find some new tops or some bottoms or accessories, whatever it is. And so making sure that the things that you're getting are gaps that you have in your closet. And if they're not, making sure that when you're like holding it up and you're like, wow, I really love this, imagining how can I wear this 3, 4, 5 ways in my closet? If you can only imagine one way to wear it, to me, it's not worth the investment. Unless it's like you're like, oh my God, this is like coolest fucking gown and I have to have it and it's $5, cool, whatever. But if you can't envision yourself wearing it multiple ways, then to me, it's not worth it. And I usually put it away. And I also make sure I'm looking over the item. Are there any tears, stains, buttons missing, and stuff like that? Because I've definitely gotten really excited, then come home and I'm like, wait, this is shitty. This is stained. And so being really mindful and almost slowing down a little bit within the process.
That's a very smart thing to say. Slowing down, being mindful. Yeah, I absolutely just go to the thrift store and I'm just like, okay, what can I find? So I need
Yes.
to follow those rules.
Yeah, so what I like to do is I grab everything I like, I put it in my cart, and then I find a quiet little cozy corner in the thrift store near a mirror, and I try things on slowly, and I don't want to feel rushed in the process of buying something. I think we let impulse buy, and
Yeah.
so I'll give myself a moment to like try things on, look in the mirror, see how it fits, ask myself, how do I see myself wearing this? And then I go through everything again and ask myself, like, do I really want this? Another thing, my girlfriend actually has a plus size secondhand store and I have a secondhand store as well. My friend's is
Yes.
new and she has weekly Instagram drops. And I have a Depop as well where I share my thrifted items that I find and sell.
Yeah.
So it's another option as well.
I just actually sent out, I have Poshmark. So like
Mm-hmm.
I am an
I'm on Depop, yeah.
I'm avid where I buy things and I don't quite like the fit and I go through that mindset. I'm like, am I gonna wear this multiple times? And then I forget to return it.
Yep, yep, yep.
And I'm
The
like,
ADHD in me like hates doing returns. Yeah.
yes. but they're good quality. So I'm like, someone deserves this. So I actually just got rid of
Yeah.
a denim jumpsuit, which was really lovely.
Oh, I
But
love that. A new home.
yes, and it's like perfect for the holidays too. I can just see it, being that nice basic with a cardigan. So
Cute.
going into the holidays, I know that oftentimes stirs a lot of feelings towards our bodies, especially as women. Um, how would you suggest navigating those thoughts and that anxious nerves when sometimes your family members are more
Absolutely.
judgmental about your size or anything like that?
Yeah, this is a conversation that I have a lot with my confidence coaching clients is how the holidays can be really triggering and just supposed to be this season of love and, family and blah, blah. And people go into it being like, I'm anxious because one, we're surrounded around food that we're not surrounded around all the time. And then we have diet talk that's coming in with the new year. Then we're surrounded around family. We're spending time with family that maybe says wild ass shit about our bodies or whatever it is. It's like there's
Yes.
so many things happening at once. And so I always like to do this visualization with my clients. When you're going into these situations, I like to tell my clients, I want you to find a quiet space before you go into a family gathering or whatever it is, and envision this bubble around you, like a bubble wrap, and do this little meditation that I have them do and really ground themselves in this space and remind themselves, like, okay, I may not feel safe in this situation, or I may feel triggered, but I know that I can come home to me. I can take a moment and go to the bathroom and take a deep breath and really try to ground your nervous system going into these situations. And I always come up with a crisis plan with my clients of like, say Aunt Barb says some wild ass shit about my body, whatever it is. We practice going through those conversations of inputting boundaries. What does that look like? What does it look like when a boundary isn't being met? Do I need to step away from the table? Do I need to go to the bathroom? Do I need to step outside, put some snow on the back of my neck, and just take some deep breaths so I can calm myself down? So, a lot of what I do with my clients is making sure that they're taking care of their nervous system first and foremost, because unfortunately, we can't control the outside world and things that are being said. We can input boundaries and hope that people value and honor those boundaries and listen to
Yeah.
them. But unfortunately, generationally, sometimes people don't really honor those boundaries. And so we have to ask ourselves, how do I need to take care of myself in that moment? And with that comes this feeling of empowerment and feeling really confident. I was like, wow, I can take care of myself and I don't need to completely lose my shit or get completely dysregulated. And if I do, here's a crisis plan of what I'm going to do if that happens. And so really just making sure that you're taking care of yourself in this season, monitoring how much time you're spending on social media, the pages that you're following, the things that you're seeing, and knowing that all of these companies and brands that are pushing this diet talk, it's all just for profit. And I'm like, I don't want to be one of those sheep that follows that anymore.
Absolutely. All of that. That was good. So going into your confidence coaching, I don't know if we've talked about that too much here. Can you share more about that? Are you seeing any like similarities when you have these conversations that would be helpful to share?
I have two confidence coaching packages. I do one-on-one of the 3-month package where I see my clients every other week for 3 months. And then I have a Soft Body Baddie Power Pack where it's just 3 calls and people that are like, I want to work on this specific thing. And I think a lot of the thing that I'm seeing across the board with my clients, because they're in their late 20s, 30s, and 40s, I think a big thing is just not feeling good in their bodies anymore. And I think really navigating the world and this Ozempic shit that's happening
Oh,
right now and
yeah.
just that being really loud. And, I fully believe in body autonomy and doing what feels good for your body. But it's like people that have worked really, really hard to feel comfortable and confident in their bodies. And they're like, how do I put blinders on and shut out that noise? And again, it kind of comes back to that conversation of how you navigate conversations with family or triggering situations. It's like, how do I come home to me and regulate myself and make sure that the space I'm creating within my body feels really safe and regulated? And I always tell my clients, like, come back to your core values. Your core values are the most important thing about you. And at the end of the day, nobody's going to give a fuck about what your body looks like. It's not going to be on your gravestone and no one's going to say, oh my God, she had a flat stomach and we loved her for it, So, like, coming back to like, what are the things that I value about myself as a human being? And like, how can I lean into that more? Because at the end of the day, our body's going to always be changing. And
Yes.
there's always going to be some weight loss trend, whether it's Ozempic or Atkins diet or Weight Watchers or whatever it may be. And knowing that, again, it's all for profit. And so coming back to how do I want to be remembered? How do I want to live within my core values? And how can I continue to take care of myself and show up for myself? And know that like struggling with our body image, like that's going to ebb and flow. And I think trying to not put so much pressure into fitting into this box that society is always trying to shove women into.
Yeah. Can you share some helpful affirmations or motivation to wrap this up, especially going into the holidays, but even further of just self-love, body image, confidence? What would you want everyone to know, or even your younger self to know?
Yeah, I think when it comes to this body image space and body positivity and body love and all of these things, my clients will come to me and they're like, I don't want to have a bad body image day. I'm like, it's not realistic. Like I myself, I would identify as a very confident human being. I also struggle with my body image sometimes.
Yeah.
And I think the moments when we're struggling with our body image are the moments where showing up is the most important. It's not when we're feeling the most confident because we feel great. So it's like, yeah, showing up for yourself is easy. Whereas when you're not feeling good about yourself, those are the moments where it's really hard to show up for yourself. And so I always tell my clients when you're feeling really low, when you're struggling with your body image, I need you to come up with a plan. And I do this with my clients is like, we need to come up with a plan of what showing up for yourself in the basic of ways looks like. Does it look like giving yourself a morning hug? Does it look like mirror work? Does it look like journaling and writing affirmations? And some of this stuff may feel really cheesy and corny, but if you're so used to hating yourself and speaking really unkindly to yourself, doing anything out of love is going to feel really inauthentic and really weird. So I
Yeah.
tell my clients, why don't we just try it and see what happens? And so I think giving yourself a lot of grace if you struggle with your body image, because our society is constantly forcing women and telling women that we shouldn't feel good in who we are. And so knowing that you're constantly up against something, and so giving yourself a lot of grace and compassion. And at the end of the day, I think the most important thing is how can I continue to regulate my nervous system and just come home to my body and know that as long as I'm creating this internal safety, I've got me. And that's the most important thing. It's not about what your body looks like. It's not about any of this other aesthetic shit or any of it. It's like, how can I calm my nervous system down and take care of me so I can show up for myself? Because when we're unregulated, that's going to be really, really hard to show up for yourself and also be really kind. So,
Yeah.
does it look like 10 seconds of deep breathing? Does it look like stepping outside and just getting cold air on your face? Like these really, really small things, they may seem so small, but they're so pivotal in these journeys.
Yeah. It's the little things for sure.
It is.
And we overlook them so easily.
Yeah, we do. Like I'm someone I've been working a lot and it's like I even have to remind myself like I'm like, dude, just go outside for like 5 minutes and like take a deep breath. Walk your dog and don't bring your phone and like look at the trees and like watch the wind. It's these little moments of finding moments of calm and stillness because we live in this like world of overconsumption and capitalism and constant, constant, constant. It's like we've got to slow it down. And when we slow it down, a lot of the time that's when our feelings come up. And so when our feelings do come up, welcome them with a kind hug, welcome
Yes.
them with gentleness instead of judging them. Because I think a lot of the time we just want to run from our feelings. And it's the only way that we're going to navigate our feelings is if we feel them. And so we got to create that space to feel them.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. This has been such an intuitive conversation, and it's really refreshing to hear your perspective, especially with slowing down and, you know, realizing that, you have to do what's best for you and to not cater to the way outside aspects play into that.
Yeah, yeah, it's so important. And it's fun when we start to listen to who we are and how we want to show up. Like,
Yeah.
that's fun, and it's like, fuck trying to be like everybody else.
Yes. Absolutely. Well, again, thank you so much for joining me today and having this conversation.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of Gathering Voices. This is our last episode for the season. Join us come next year, February, as we stay connected, stay inspired, and let's continue to celebrate the voices that shape our world. Until next time, take care and share your story.